On this episode, I'm so excited to be joined by one of the most exciting players in the Premier League. He's made the Arsenal #1 shirt his own. He's undoubtedly one of the top keepers in the league and has kept fans up and down the country on their toes with his brand of banter. This is Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron, thanks for coming, mate.
No problem, thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Was it always goalkeeper?
Yeah. So there was a period of time where I played for the year above in goal, and then in the afternoon played for my own age group outfield. Right. But that probably lasted about 2 months, and I was just like, goalkeepers for me.
So you ended up at Bolton, your first taste of academy football. You know, what age did you think, I've got a chance here?
I always did quite well at Bolton. Right. I was always good, but I was very small. I was probably about 5'8" when I was under 16s. So I got released for being too small, but probably wasn't till I was about 17. So just starting my second year scholar where I thought, I've got a chance.
Who was your hero as a goalkeeper growing up?
So Jaskalainen was my first one. Obviously having him there as a friend as well. Yeah. Was so surreal. Was it like a mentorship as well? That must have been so valuable for you. It was so good. So we'd train on a Saturday and we'd go over to his house and we'd just be in the garden after he's just played the Premier League game for Bolton and be in the garden and he'd come out and we'd either shoot at him or he'd shoot at us and it was just surreal. And again, I was against his son competitively every day and UC would still have time to help me. It was an invaluable experience.
Is Big Yussi still gambling on them dodgy horses or with the chariots?
I'm not too sure. I just know he's gone back home doing a bit of media work now. So hopefully it'll be nice to see if I can get an interview with him. So
you went to Sheffield United, you know, and a team full of characters, you know, Billy Sharp, Shay Evans, Calvert-Lewin. You know, what was that like as a young goalkeeper? You played 2 appearances in the Cup when you was first there.
Yeah, so that was amazing. I spent the year before up and down with them training, got a feel of it, and then Chris Wilder came in and put me straight in with the first team as second choice. So yeah, training with them lads every day. It was so much fun. I felt really a part of the team. Yeah. I left in that transfer window in the January, which obviously I got my break from, but I was disappointed because we were on to promotion. Yes. And that team spirit and what was going on around the city at that time, I'd love to have been there for, but I got the two games in the FA Cup. Yeah. Leighton Orient was my debut and then played against Bolton in the FA Cup. Did
you have something in your, with it being Bolton and, you know, not quite working out, did you have that little bit inside you that wanted to stick out? Yeah. All footballers will.
100%. And I remember seeing the academy manager at the time who didn't look at me. Didn't look at me. You know, the rest of the people I saw there were really happy for me and wanted me to do well. But it was it was great to go back and just sort of show the 2 reasons why I didn't get a contract there of being too small and couldn't kick. I was able to show on that day that they were wrong. You said Bournemouth came calling, Eddie Howe, fantastic young manager. You went there and then you've gone out on loan. How important were them loan spells to you? Crucial. Yeah. When I went down to Bournemouth, I went from, as I said, at Sheffield United, really feeling a part of the team to sort of no man's land at the start. Right. Third choice. So I just needed to go out on loan, and the first game for Chesterfield, I chucked 2 in away from home, lost 4-0, and thought, oh, this is going to be tough. But loved it, absolutely loved it. And I've always been told by a coach, Eric Steele, he said, when a goalkeeper's 22, 23, they're almost at sort of a development stage of a 17-year-old outfield player. Yes, good shout. And it doesn't matter, as a goalkeeper, you go to bottom of League 2, top of League 2, bottom of League 1, because you're taking corners and crosses where you've got the likes of Akinfenwa all around you. Yeah. You've got the crowd, the pitches are the same, people are taking shots. So for a goalkeeper especially, just get out there and play. Yeah. And I absolutely loved it. You come back to Bournemouth. When was that moment where you felt at home there? That summer. Yeah. When I got back from. Did Eddie say to you, "This is where you're in," or was it a? No, it was just a fight. Right. And that was the best thing he could have told me. Right. we stayed up with Wimbledon on the last day on goal difference, and I had a perfect sort of 4 months on loan there.
Yeah.
So I went down to meet the team and met the gaffer before they played Palace on the last day of the season, and he was full of praise of me off the pitch, more mature, grown up and things like this. And he just said to me, there's no set number one next year. So there's me, Mark Travers, Asmir Begovic and Artur Boric, fight it out.
Good goalkeepers.
So I came in, and competition is something I love. Started doing pre-season, played in a few of the big games in pre-season, but didn't know until the day before the first game of the season.
Yeah. Talk to me about that goal, the Goalkeepers Union.
It's a difficult one to explain, but it is like a brotherhood, it is like a family. But you learn from an early age that one position plays.
Yeah.
One person plays that position, so you have to have some certain mentality about being disappointed but not being jealous.
Yeah.
And being a great guy on the training pitch without making the situation worse.
Yeah.
Because what happens is if you're the starting goalkeeper and I come into training and mess about and ruin the session, that ruins it for you.
Yeah.
Then you'll do the same for me, and no quality will be taken out of that session. Don't get me wrong, people in the Goalkeeper Union will, if I'm not playing and you're having bad games, I'm not going to be up and jumping about, but that's then your chance to capitalise. So you do have that feeling of the other person's disappointment. But it's so good to see, and it's so strange that, like you say, there's 3 keepers going for the position, but everyone's so supportive. Yeah.
You eventually got the number 1 spot, and was there any moment when you thought, wow, I'm a Premier League keeper at such a young age? Did you expect it to come so quickly?
I didn't expect. I thought that year, which I made my Premier League debut, I'd go to the Championship and do a full season.
Right.
So I went straight from 25 games in League One to starting in the league.
Yeah.
And that was the moment when it was a wow.
Yeah.
And then first game of the season was Sheffield United.
Oh, wow.
So that's
my old club. There's a theme in your career,
Yeah. It's my old club, my old manager. 6 or 7 of their players are making their debuts in the league.
Yeah.
I'm making mine. Dean Henderson's the other end, another young English goalkeeper.
Yeah.
There was a moment there where it was, wow, what's going on? And the type of person I was, it was just enjoyment. And I remember the game kicking off and Sheffield United singing their famous Greasy Chip Putty song. And I was singing along to it. And David McGoldrick threw on goal after about 20 seconds. So it just allowed it. I think that was a perfect thing for me. It allowed me to feel comfortable because I knew it was a team which I knew, a manager which both managers obviously believed in me at the time. Yeah. So it just felt like a perfect moment for me to make my debut. But yeah, there was times through that season where you just sit back, and the first time I went and played at Chelsea or Man United, and it's like, this is proper now.
You've arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, you went on to win Player of the Year that year. I got relegated. Exactly the same thing happened to me at West Ham as a young player, and it's tough, ain't it?
Yeah, so I think my mentality has got stronger and stronger through setbacks. So the Bolton was the first setback, and then going on trial kept getting knocked down. So I was already building sort of a wall to all this. The Bournemouth one was really hard to take because 5 years in the league, a new goalkeeper to the team, COVID hit. We should never have gone down, but COVID hit, and all momentum which we either had or didn't have just stopped for everyone. So that year was tough, but it's definitely allowed me, especially for the second season at Sheffield United, it allowed me to know how to work things out, how to deal with things.
It is tough to do, but it does make you stronger.
100%.
You've seen that. What was it like for you, for Sheffield United, to come calling then?
It just felt the right thing to do. I had 1 year of tasting the Premier League. They've just come off a great season. It was keeping myself back in the league, and there was supposed to be a European Championship at the end of that season. So obviously you set yourself high targets, and it was probably a bit of a pipe dream at the time to get into that squad, but I knew to be in the best position to be picked, I had to be in the league.
Yeah.
I knew everything about the club, knew the city, knew the area, and it just seemed like a perfect fit. So I was buzzing when I went back.
What do you think went wrong that season? Because I love Chris Wilder. I think he's a fantastic manager, most underrated manager in British football. You know, but it just seemed to go wrong.
I remember playing Tottenham at home, and Mourinho came out and said he'd done the most amount of tactical analysis all season for this game because of how unique the way we played. So I think a lot of people were doing even more analysis of the team to stop us playing that way.
Yeah.
They just sussed the team out.
System.
Yeah. It was another learning curve for not just myself, but the whole team as well. Dad hates the way we play.
Right.
He hates me playing in the midfield and taking touches, and I'm just like, speak to the boss.
Yeah.
And I get nervous every now and then because he has the manager's number.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, please don't speak to the boss.
It's great that you're chatting about all these, you know, for the young kids listening, all the disappointments you had, and now, the happier times now. Arsenal come in, massive club, Mikel Arteta. You know, he spoke to you and your dad on the phone. What was it that convinced you about Arsenal and Arteta?
Massive club.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to my dad after the move from Bournemouth to Sheffield United, but it was after the Sheffield United season. And he said, I don't want you to do anything like we've done this year.
Right.
So I was pushing and pushing to get back to the Premier League after Bournemouth was relegated.
Right.
And he said, if another team have the opportunity who come up, so say take Watford for example, they want you. It could be another season like this, and it might not be.
Yeah.
Stay here, play 40 games in the Championship, try and get promoted.
Yeah.
Apart from a big club like Arsenal come in, everything comes with it, the facilities, the stadium. And at the start, it was as a number 2.
Right.
And that was another challenge for me where it's like, OK, I'll go in as number 2, but I'll back myself to get the number 1 spot. Competition, which I said I love, and it was just one of them things. It was a different dynamic. You go to these big clubs and you don't realise how big they are until you walk through the doors and go on tour with them or play that first game. So it was just me seeing a different side of almost the footballing world.
Talking about pressure and number 2 or number 1, 40 million price tag. You know, for me, that says you're the future. That must have been part of the conversation with Mikel, saying, look, you're coming in to compete, but you're going to be Arsenal goalkeeper.
And that was the best thing for me, for him to put the money up for me about that and say, listen, you're coming in as a number 2, but if you fight and you do well and you play, then it's yours to lose. And that was just music to my ears. And hopefully I'll be there for as long as I can be and carry on playing. Well,
listen, from watching you from a distance, you look like you've been an Arsenal goalkeeper for ages. You know, you look very self-assured. The fans have taken to you, and the fans have taken to your dad as well. Your dad certainly looks like he has a great time watching you.
Maybe not anymore. He doesn't have a great time watching now. He gets nervous and stuff. But Dad hates the way we play.
Right.
He hates me playing in the midfield and taking touches, and I'm just like, speak to the boss. Yeah. And I get nervous every now and then because he has the manager's number. Yeah. So I'm like, no, please don't speak to the boss. It's been great, and they follow me up and down the country and around Europe as well.
Talk to me about Arteta and talk to me about the project, because although you missed out on the Champions League last year, it was a fantastic season. You know, it looks like the project is coming into fruition.
Yeah, Mikel is so driven and nitpicks at the smallest details, which people probably don't even see. And I did an interview with Granit Xhaka the other day with the press, and he called him a freak in a good way, and I can agree.
It's a bit risky to talk about your gaffer like that, isn't it?
A little bit, but Granit will get away with it. Yeah. But he honestly is so. When he sees something, he's got the blinkers on, and and it's down to the smallest detail. And people talk about the project, and when you see, so from last season, who they signed and what age, I think I was the oldest at 23, Ben White 23, Tommy Asu 22. All these players are in a bracket of age, and yes, it'll take time to get used to it. And we had a great season. And from when I signed, they said the plan at this moment in time, perfect plan would be Europa League, which we got.
Yeah.
It was a disappointing end because we were in a position and we lost out to our rivals.
Yeah.
So we're in a position now where the steps in progress we're taking and we're achieving, and we've added some great quality this year. And let's be right, we got more of a chance of winning the Europa League than we have the Champions League at this moment in time. So silverware would be perfect for us, and the boss, he's really hammering that home at the moment. That we can have a great season and win a trophy.
Another thing, you made your England debut in the 10-0 win in San Marino.
I think I was sat like this. I think I was sat like this all game.
But that must have been massive for. Listen, we all remember our England debut. Do you think there's anyone who's had more of a comfortable England debut than that?
No. We played the game and my family somehow got there.
Yeah.
So my mum, dad, one of my brothers, my other brother didn't have a passport for some reason, so he couldn't come. My girlfriend, and it was amazing. Harry Maguire calmed me down straight away.
Yeah.
I played with his brother at Chesterfield and he's like, come a long way since Chesterfield, have my son. So that was great. I got a save and I made a punch from the corner, and that was me sorted. So yeah, not all the games since have been that easy, but to get that out the way, got all the pressure and all the nerves out of my system for the next game when I played Italy, so it was perfect.
Qatar World Cup's on the horizon. You've got to fancy yourself. You're in the running for that #1 spot. How exciting it must be to be Aaron Ramsdale now, knowing that you could be England's #1 at the next World Cup.
Oh, it's what dreams are made of, and it is so exciting. And like you say, the competition, Jordan's got the shirt right now, and fully deserved. Never let England down. This is the Goalkeepers Union side coming out. To be trying to, it's kind of funny to be talking about a World Cup at 24. And me trying to say I'll be disappointed and stuff's quite crazy. So if it's not this one, then hopefully I can continue form, and we've got a Euros in another 2 years and a World Cup after that. So it's so exciting at the moment.
What is the ambition this year for Arsenal?
Personally, I'd want to win the Europa League. And if that means we sacrifice by finishing 5th in the league, you still qualify for the Champions League and you win silverware with it. But Champions League for sure, and then I think you give it a real good go in the FA Cup. And Carabao Cup, one of the domestic cups with a European trophy would be a perfect season. And the fans always have banter with other teams of when you last won trophies. So why would you not go and try and win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup? And for me, that would be a dream to win a couple of trophies this year. Win a couple of trophies in your career. You might never do it. So I don't get why we would try and do something different.
And you talk about banter with the fans. You're renowned for that. Do you thrive off of that? And I personally love it. It was something in the 90s. It was every game, all goalkeepers would do it. But you seem to be bringing it back. I love it.
It's just something strangely in my head that keeps me concentrated. Like I know if I'm giving you loads of stick and I throw one in, I'm going to get crucified. So, just going into with the fans, and I'd probably say 90% of the people in the stadium or we do it to take it really well. And I give them a clap before the game kicks off. 9 times out of 10 I receive one back, and then after the game you give them a clap, and it's just
but not on White Hart Lane.
I wouldn't even bother trying to clap there. I think we'll just leave that one there. It's not the place to be clapping.
But listen, before we get on to the quick fire round, it's been an absolute pleasure, but we can't go without talking about your dad's hat, the famous hat. And Cool. Talk to me about it. Where's that come from?
See, this is... It's now his famous hat, but he has a hat collection of 10 hats.
Right.
So he's got pilot hat with the goggles. He's got like a safari hat. You know, like the old school Jumanji? That white one, the sandy coloured one. He's got one of them. He's even got a cap with a propeller on. But you know, you can fling the propeller around. So he's nuts. He's got the fur ones with the ears. But this fez, this smoking hat he's got, and I think Tommy Cooper used to wear one.
Yeah.
So I think he's got one just like that with the little...
Just like that.
With the strings, but... I don't know. He's got the same hairline as me, so we try and cover him with caps, but... Yeah, he loves it. You don't go anywhere without a cap, so...
Well, I definitely want to meet your dad, I tell you. Aaron, with each of our guests, we do a quick fire round. Right, here we go. If you had to bet your life on one goalkeeper to save a penalty, who would it be?
Tim Krul.
Tim Krul? It's a massive shout.
He came on in the World Cup, didn't he?
True.
Yeah, Tim Krul.
If you could play like any outfield player, who would you choose to play like?
Busquets.
Yeah?
I'd be a sit midfielder.
Interesting.
Get it and pass it to your better players.
Yeah, I like that. Just defensively minded.
Yeah.
If you could go back and change one moment of your career, what would it be?
The things which I've done wrong have actually helped me.
Right, exactly.
So I missed the bus to go to Chelsea away.
Right, OK.
In the Carabao Cup. I was back on the bench for Bournemouth. Right. And then 2 days later, I was sent on loan to Wimbledon. And then I had an amazing 4 months, so... And all like the rejections and stuff I'd never changed because the path I've had.
Your dad's hats?
Yeah, my dad's hats.
What's the funniest thing you've ever heard on a football pitch?
That's tough.
Yeah.
Probably just someone saying, don't worry, he'll give it back to us.
Yeah.
Do you know one of them shouts when you've had... The lad's lost the ball a couple of times. It's like, don't worry, he'll give it back to us.
Absolute pleasure, big man.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Cheers, mate.
BT Sport Pods.